Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll be giving you guys my list of top 10 boxing gloves for 2021. So stay tuned. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here, and today I'll be giving you my top 10 boxing gloves as of 2021. I know this is a video you guys have been requesting for some time now, so I apologize it's taking me this long to put this list together. Believe it or not, this list was a little harder to put together than I originally anticipated for several reasons. One of the reasons being is that I'm constantly trying new boxing gloves every week. You know, whether it's a new model from an existing brand that we already know about, or maybe it's a model that they've had out already, I just haven't had the chance to try it, or from brand new companies that we've never even heard of that have come out with their own boxing gloves and have really upped their game and closed the gap with other big names when it comes to the boxing glove segment. So, it wasn't just too long ago, like 5 to 10 years ago, that you really had more black and white when it came to boxing gloves. You had like Winning, Reyes, Grant, which were considered kind of the top dogs when it came to boxing gloves, $300-400 on up. When it came to Winning and Grants, Reyes were usually around $150 to $200. And you knew what you were getting when you were purchasing those, especially Winning. Those were kind of the bread and butter when it came to boxing gloves. Pros used them for training, for pro fights. There were so many different companies coming out with their version of a Japanese-inspired glove. They always say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and that's definitely the case when it comes to Winning. There's so many other companies now that have their version of a Winning glove. So that just goes to show you what Winning has done in terms of affecting the glove market. So with that being said, fast forward to now to 2021, we have so many other companies that are coming out with great equipment. Fly, Rival, Phenom, Dinardo, Boxeo TM, 1v1 Fight Gear, who's based here in the United States, Superare. I mean, there's so many companies that are coming out with different gloves that have really closed the gap, in my opinion, with some of the top dogs. One thing I will mention before I give you guys my top 10 list is that I'm going to keep cost out of this list. What I mean by cost, I'm going to tell you how much the gloves cost, but what I mean by that, I'm not going to use that as part of how I rank my top 10 gloves. The reason for that is that there's such a huge range and disparity of cost when it comes to gloves. I mean, you can have a pair of Dinardos which are like $1,200, or you can get yourself a pair of $150 Rivals. So there's going to be such a big gap in that regard. So I want to leave cost out of it. I'm going to make a separate list, I'm going to rank gloves by cost later down the road, but for now I'm going to keep cost out of it. This is going to be purely just top 10 gloves in my personal opinion, and these are gloves that I've personally tried and have already done a review on. So I've tried them for either sparring, hitting the bag, hitting the mitts, whatever it may be. I've used them and I've given my thoughts and my review on them. So that's how I completed this list. Whether you guys agree or disagree, have positive, negative comments, as usual, always put them down below. That way we can have a discussion about it. I'm completely open to that. And you guys may or may not be surprised with some of the gloves that are on this list, or at least where they're ranked. So I'm definitely open for that discussion. So without further ado, let's get into it. So coming in at number 10 is going to be the Fighting Road Japanese boxing gloves. These gloves are made in Thailand, surprisingly, and retail for around $60 US, which is an absolute steal from the Fighting Road website on the Rakuten website from Japan. Now, there's kind of a drawback with these gloves and the fact that they're really hard and rare to get a hold of. Fighting Road is actually a company based out of Japan it's been around for years now, but they're pretty exclusive to Japan. You don't really see them outside of out of Japan. Here in the United States, they're pretty rare gloves. You can either get it through Rakuten if you're lucky enough to get a hold of a pair, or through a third-party seller like myself. I got them through eBay for $300. So you can see there's a huge price difference between getting it through Fighting Road if you're lucky enough to get them, or if you go through a third-party seller, which is kind of a drawback. With that being said, I know we always talk about Japanese-inspired gloves being close to winning, but these is definitely probably the closest gloves I've tried compared to winning. Both in terms of, leather quality is very similar, the multi-layer foam padding, consistency of the foam, being more of a pillowy type glove, the hand ergonomics when you put your hand into the glove feel very close to winning. So it's, to me, essentially like a winning glove, but for a fraction of the price, which to me is a steal. I mean, you guys know that winning gloves typically start about $350, just depending on the color and size you get, and they can skyrocket from there. So to me, at $60, that's an insane price considering what you're getting. The only problem is trying to get a hold of them, because they're pretty hard to get through the Rakuten website. So number 10 is going to be the Fighting Road Japanese boxing gloves. Coming in at number 9 is going to be the Superare S50 made in Italy boxing gloves. These gloves are handmade in Italy. The cost of these gloves start at $199 on up, so 200 bucks. Multiple different sizes, 2 different closures. You can get in Velcro or lace up. They do have several stock colors like red and black. The ones that I got were the purple and black. You can also get them custom built to your colors and designs that you want through Superare. The great thing about these gloves is that they're handmade in Italy, and the only other company I know that does at least make their gloves in Italy would be Dinardo, which I'll discuss here in a little bit. But these gloves at the price point of $200 are really nice gloves. Really beautiful leather that they use, Italian leather. The big drawback I found with these gloves was the stitching. On the pair that I got, there was some stitching that was off. And for me, at $200, I expect the gloves to be pretty much perfect at that price point. Padding is definitely more on the pillow side, protective, but a lot softer. So kind of similar to winning, but just a little bit thicker when it comes to the multi-layer foam padding that they use in the gloves. But a really nice high quality glove that to me just needs a little bit of polishing when it comes to the stitching, especially at the $200 price point that they start at. So coming in at number 9 is going to be the Superare S50 made in Italy boxing gloves. Coming in at number 8 is going to be these Fly Superlace boxing gloves. These gloves are made in the United Kingdom. They start at around $450 US, just depending on the size and the style that you get. The Fly Superlaces that I'm discussing are going to be the genuine leather versions, not the Superlace X gloves, which are the synthetics and a lot cheaper than the Superlace versions. The one thing I love about the genuine leather version of the Fly gloves is the leather is proprietary. They use Scottish hide, and the leather is very similar. Has a really high-end supple feel to it. But it reminds me, and I've said this before, and you guys may have heard me say, but it reminds me of like a high-end handbag, like a Louis bag, where it just has this really high-end. I mean, you can tell the leather is just some of the best out there, and I definitely love that. The stitching, the craftsmanship of the gloves are fantastic. The foam on the gloves, at least in the leather versions, I felt were a little bit more softer, a little bit more broken in than the Superlace X. I felt several different versions of the gloves, and I felt like some of the newer versions of the gloves I got, the foam was a little bit stiffer. But one drawback I felt, just for me personally using the gloves, is that I felt the thumb was a little bit short. I felt like the thumb would jam at the tip. And I know that they've gotten a little bit better over the years. I feel like my green pair of Superlace X's, the thumb was a little bit more comfortable and it didn't jam. But I still feel like the thumb had a little bit of awkwardness, and I know some other people have expressed that as well when it came to their Fly gloves, that the thumb was a little bit awkward, or it was a little bit too short, excuse me, and the thumb would jam at the tip. But nonetheless, beautiful gloves, excellent craftsmanship, nice multi-layer foam padding. The Superlace comes in multiple colors. They just released a black and red. I believe they have black and gold teal. They have, I don't know if they still have the navy blue and the white, but multiple sizes. I believe you can get them in anywhere between 12 to 16 ounces, maybe 18 ounces. They have the Super Loops, which is the Velcro version of the Superlaces. So definitely a great variety of colors to choose from. They also have the oxblood color, which is really cool, has more of a vintage look, kind of a dark cherry red color, which look awesome as well. And so different variety of colors, closures. You can also get a custom pair as well if you reach out to them. So coming in at number 8 is going to be the Fly Superlace boxing gloves. Coming in at number 7 is going to be the Phenom SG200 boxing glove. Now this is a company that's based out of the UK, but the gloves themselves are actually made in Pakistan. And I was really impressed with these gloves. I actually got a custom pair of the SG200s made for myself. And when they came in, just the leather looked fantastic. Even though these gloves are made in Pakistan, they felt like a really high-end glove like Top Boxer makes. Stitching was on point, padding was on point, but the best part about the SG200s is that one, you have different sizes you can choose from when it comes to the sparring gloves, but the hand compartment is excellent. You slide your hand in there, you have an excellent formed fist. The ergonomics are on point. You land on the knuckles every single time. Has a good broken in feel to the gloves. The liner is really nice and soft. Doesn't feel like it bunches up on you. And just an excellent overall glove. The padding is multi-layer foam. Not too stiff and not too soft. So really you can use it for anything in the gym, whether it's hitting the bags, using them for sparring. I think it's just an overall great glove. They're very reminiscent of the rival RFX Guerrero sparring gloves, but just to me, better attention to detail and a little bit better quality than the RFX Guerrero gloves. At the price point of about $205, again, depending on the currency exchange rate, at that price point at around, if you want to even it out at $200, you're right there along with like Reyes, some of the higher end gloves that you see out there that might not have the same ergonomics and performance as the SG200. Certainly Rival, whose gloves are around the $200 plus range, depending if you get the Guerrero sparring gloves or even their bag gloves, which I find that they've had some inconsistency issues with their quality control. I think at the $200 price range, the SG200s are some really nice gloves. You can get them custom made. They do have some stock colors like white, red, white and black that you can check out on the Phenom website. So coming in at number 7 is going to be the Phenom SG200 boxing gloves. Coming in at number 6 is going to be the Salvador boxing glove. I got the Pro Fight version of these gloves. These gloves are handmade in Mexico. And the company itself, Salvador, is actually based out of Spain, if I'm not mistaken. These gloves cost about $228. Again, I kind of have to add in the fact that there is a currency exchange rate with some of these gloves that are overseas, not here located in the United States. So do keep in mind that I'm putting all the costs out here in US dollars. So about $228. I really compare these gloves to like the No Boxing, No Life, the Russian Boxer, and even the Grant gloves. I think they're very similar, maybe even perhaps maybe made by the same person, or they use kind of the same template, but very high quality. I mean, the leather they use on these gloves are fantastic. The stitching is on point. The design looks fantastic. I love the way the logo looks. I got mine in 10-ounce lace-ups. And the metallic blue on that they use and the gold, just beautiful. I didn't find any flaws with the stitching. The inner liner feels great. And my own pet peeve and what I love in my own gloves is that it has excellent broken in feel to it. I can open and close my hand with relative ease. It uses a blend of foam and horsehair. So you're getting both feedback and protection combined in one glove. And just a fantastic glove. And considering that the glove to me is on the level of Grant or maybe even better for $228 starting, that's definitely a great deal. You can get them in 8 to 10 ounces, and they also make training gloves that you can get as well, anywhere from 12 to 16 or even 18 ounces. I'd say that Salvador is a little bit more of a custom company. They do make some stock colors, but you're really never going to get the same color and design as somebody else, because like a lot of the other custom Mexican-made manufacturers, you're kind of getting a one-off glove, which is a great thing because there's not going to be 100 people out there that have the same exact gloves that you do. But again, at the price point at $228 that I got the gloves for, and the overall quality, design, and performance, they're definitely excellent gloves. So coming in at number 6 is going to be the Salvador boxing gloves. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Eliana Paris, the Elegant boxing gloves. Now, this is a company based out of Paris, France, and are completely new to the segment as of 2020. So these particular gloves are actually handmade in Thailand. And to be honest with you, quite frankly, I was completely surprised by them. They cost about $216 starting price. They do have other glove models that Elian carries, as well as the Elegant, which comes in other colors, but they're called a different model. but they use a multi-layer foam padding, and it's probably some of the most comfortable gloves I've tried. One thing I noticed about this particular glove is because they're made in Thailand, you're getting a really well-made glove. You know, there hasn't been a Thai glove, to be honest with you, that I've tried and said, wow, these are really crappy, or the craftsmanship on these suck. I mean, the stitching is perfect, the leather is really nice and supple, high quality, you know, top grain leather that they use. One thing about these gloves in particular that really kind of separated itself from some of the other gloves is how broken in they felt. Typically with Thai gloves like Fairtex, you know, Twins, Windy, there's definitely a breaking period. The gloves that you get are usually pretty stiff when you put your hand in there. I mean, it takes a little bit of time to break the gloves in. With these gloves, with the Elian gloves, you put your hand in there and you can open and close your hands with ease. The hand compartment ergonomics are perfect. You put your hand in there and you can make an excellent fist. It has a beautiful, nice soft liner that's really silk-like on the inside. I love the look of the glove. It has that kind of velour strip that comes up to the thumb down to the back of the hand. The gloves look fantastic. You have a couple other colors you can choose from, and I know that Elion is going to be making other models and sizes of this particular type of glove here coming in 2021. So coming in at number 5 is going to be Eliana Paris, the Elegant Boxing Gloves. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the winning MS500 Boxing Gloves. These really need no introduction. We all know what winning is or what they stand for. They're gloves made in Japan. They have all different kinds of colors you can choose from. They have their pro boxing gloves that come in 8 to 10 ounces. They also have their training gloves that come from 10 all the way up to 60. And I don't know if they have an 18-ounce glove, but they have all types of colors, sizes, and you have 2 kinds of closures. I've tried both their lace-up and their Velcro. The Velcro gloves aren't the best in terms of wrist support. I've always felt that the winning Velcro gloves, for whatever reason, don't emphasize wrist support. I mean, the wrist has just a little piece of leather on there. The Velcro strap is pretty dainty. It just feels pretty cheap, to be honest with you, when it comes to the Velcro glove. I wish they would improve that. They do have a larger Velcro strap version, but I just wish that they would make a more robust feeling Velcro strap. The lace-up version of the gloves are much better, offer really great wrist support. Cost-wise, the gloves are, depending on where you get it from, with vendor, it could be Winning of USA, Winning Japan, Rakuten, Kozuji. I mean, there's so many different websites you can choose from. You know, are around $350 on up. That also depends on model and color you get, but generally speaking, you could say that you're looking at about $350 to $400. Obviously, the gloves are handmade in Japan, and again, Winning has kind of been the flagship when it comes to boxing gloves that often have been imitated by other companies. They're great gloves, multi-layer foam padding. Excellent hand compartment. I just feel that there's other companies now that have really, in my opinion, have more comfortable gloves and offer similar protection, but a little bit more value that you're getting than Winning gloves. Not to say that Winning aren't great, but I feel that there's other gloves now that have surpassed them in regards to both the quality, the fit and feel, and finish of the gloves. So coming in at number 4 is going to be the Winning MS500 Boxing Gloves. Coming in at number 3 are going to be the Dinardo Tutela Evo Boxing Gloves. These are handmade in Turin, Italy by Dinardo himself. They are handmade there by one individual in a little small shop in Turin, Italy. I know you guys have probably seen these gloves. They're beautiful looking gloves. They are around $1,100 to $1,200, just depending on your currency exchange rate. So they are definitely not for the faint of heart. And to me, these gloves, the best way to describe them, they're kind of like a timepiece when it comes to boxing gloves. You know, when you get a watch, you can get yourself like a Casio or you know, whatever it may be, a regular watch that tells time, or you can get yourself like a Rolex or you know, a tag watch, which are several thousands of dollars. And they do the exact same thing as a Casio does. It just tells time. The only difference is the quality and the craftsmanship and the time and detail they put into that timepiece compared to like a Casio or your standard Citizen watch. And that's kind of the analogy I like to use when it comes to Dinardo gloves in regards to the cost of the gloves. Again, I'm not using cost in when it comes to this list, but I know for those of you that are going to say, damn, those are $1,200, I'm going to pay that much, that's crazy. But yeah, I get it. Trust me, I understand. I get where you guys are coming from. But that's just my analogy to let you guys know that's what I guess the model of Dinardo, what he's trying to get at is that he's making a glove that may not be for everybody, but it's kind of a glove that you can purchase and then you use, and maybe hand it down to the next generation after you. Now, in regards to the glove uses Italian leather. Everything is handmade in Italy. The gloves are fantastic. As far as the leather goes, probably the best leather I've seen, if not some of the best. In the video review I did, you can see the actual difference in the kind of leather hide that's used on the back of the glove and the hand compartment, as well as the thumb. The liner is really nice. The stitching looks really nice overall. And the glove has more of an old school feel to it. Old school look and feel. It kind of reminds me of the John Gollan gloves that are handmade here in Pennsylvania, here in the United States. Who are the original glove makers of Everlast, but it has more of like an old school feel. The Tutela Evo material is more of softer but protective material, so I was able to open and close my hands with relative ease. I got them in 14 ounce, so they're a perfect fit for me. With hand wraps on, you can really land some really powerful shots on the heavy bag, use them for sparring. They're really overall a great training glove. Now obviously the gloves are custom built, so you can get them lace up or Velcro closure, just different colors to choose from. You can customize them the way you want. You can get your name written on the back on them. Just beautiful overall gloves, perform really well. They also have Tutela padding and also castis or castis padding, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, that you can choose from, rigid or semi-rigid padding, just depending on the style you like, but very customizable. So again, coming in at number 3 is going to be the Dinardo Tutela Evo boxing gloves. Coming in at number 2 is going to be the 1v1 Fight Gear Horsehair Flora style boxing gloves. Now I got these gloves in 12 ounces. They were a custom metallic horsehair glove that's very different from their PTE, their Pro Trainer Elite gloves. And these gloves are fantastic. They use a blend of high-end foam as well as horsehair, and hence being called the horsehair gloves. I got them in 12 ounce. I got them last year, and so they're probably some of my favorite, if not my favorite gloves to use on the bag. You get excellent protection, like shock dispersion, but you still feel your knuckles kind of sink through on the horsehair. The gloves are made here in the United States. They're based out of Florida, veteran-owned company. They start at about $375. So again, they're right up there with flying winning when it comes to cost. You know, genuine leather construction. The leather is high-end leather, really nice and thick. Stitching is really nice on the gloves, and the overall fit and feel is fantastic. When you put your hand into that glove, you have the ability to open and close your hand with ease. There's no stiffness in the gloves whatsoever. Excellent hand ergonomics. Liner feels great on the gloves, and just overall some of my favorite gloves to use for training. You can reach out to 1v1 to see if you can get your own custom pair, different colors you want. He also does make the stock colors of the PTE versions of the gloves as well. But coming in at number 2 is going to be the 1v1 Fight Gear horsehair boxing gloves. Okay, so coming in at number 1 is going to be the Boxeo TM made in Mexico boxing gloves. Now, this may come as a surprise to you, some of you guys, but I actually got a pair of custom Boxeo TM gloves last year from Torres from Boxeo TM, and the gloves were fantastic. They were all black with some metallic red in them. The leather that was used was super beautiful leather, high-end. It reminded me of some of the high-end brands that I used to train with. The black leather on there was really nice and thick. It had welted seams on them. They're handmade in Mexico. They only start at $120. So they're relatively inexpensive, I mean, cheaper than Reyes. Excellent liner. It uses this almost like smooth silk liner that I haven't really felt before. You slide your hand in here, it feels like you're putting your hand into this cool hand compartment. Excellent broken in feel to it. They use a high-end latex foam with some polyurethane as well. So it's not your standard, you know, Mexican glove where it's just cheap latex and your knuckles sink right through and you can feel every shot. These gloves were a perfect blend of both performance and protection. You get an excellent crack, open and close your hand with ease, beautiful laces that were used. I didn't find any imperfections when it came to the construction of the glove. Stitching looked perfect, welted seams throughout. Symmetry between both of the gloves were perfect. You know, the actual wrist support was excellent, a good amount of padding on the wrist. Really nice deep finger compartment. The glove wasn't too big, didn't have too much room on the inside where your hand wiggled around, but it wasn't too compact where you felt discomfort even with hand wraps on. And honestly, they're just like the perfect gloves. Those really blew me away. Those are gloves that really surprised me, especially because I had a pair of Boxeo TM gloves before. That were good, were solid gloves, but weren't perfect. I felt like these were the perfect gloves. They had excellent leather, excellent hand compartment, excellent protection, excellent feedback. You know, obviously the price point's there. To me, they were just the best gloves that I tried as of 2021. So the Boxeo TM gloves, made in Mexico, just beautiful construction. You can get them really in any kind of size and color you want. They're completely custom gloves. They don't actually have a website, so you have to reach out to them. Obviously, I'll put all links for all the gloves I mentioned in the description box, and I'll put the email where you can reach out to Juan to order your pair of Boxeo TM gloves as well. But Boxeo TM are going to be the #1 gloves of 2021. So if you guys have any questions, comments, positive or negative feedback, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'm looking forward to having an amazing 2021. I hope you guys do so too. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.